Hello and welcome to the Psychic Tarot Show, coming to you live here on the Beyond Mystic YouTube and Rumble channels every Saturday. We're looking at this upcoming week, a forecast for all of you in our community. What do we have to look forward to in this upcoming week, which is basically starting today, the 27th of September, 2025. Going till next Saturday. And we have a look at what's going on for us personally, politically, globally, intergalactically, everything, all these different dimensional realities. We're open to receiving guidance and messages to just get kind of a take on where we want to be putting our attention this week. So here we go. This is the Psychic Tarot Show, as I said, and you can find me here every Saturday. If you would like to book a session with me, you can find me on the Beyond Mystic Consultations page, where you can schedule a 1-hour reading. These, of course, are done over Zoom, and then you get a recording of the session afterwards. So a lot of people have been sharing with me that these sessions have made a huge difference in their lives. And if you have had an experience, whatever your experience has been in having a one-on-one consultation with me, please put your message in the chat so people can tune in to get a review. Thank you so much. So, hello to many friends that are tuning in on a regular basis here. Hi, Lupo and Bright Angel, Cobber, Linda, Dottie and Melissa. Hello from the UK, from New Zealand. Lovely to see you. Marsha, Seventh Pillar, Tracy Ann, Crypto Blonde, Mama Sparky, Digibean. Woo! I really hope someday I get to meet some of you in person. I know I have met a few of you in person at the conference. So I hope there'll be more of that kind of getting together in person, because it is just the extra kind of icing on the cake to be able to just hold your hands and look into your eyes and be like, wow, we are the people that have been tuning in to this incredible frequency, the warriors having courage to look at some of the more challenging things behind the scenes going on planet Earth and in our history, but keeping our hearts open while we're doing that. And I'm just amazed at the courage and resilience that I have witnessed and have the great honor to be co-creating within this community. So hi, everybody. And let's get started with the reading. I actually have a new deck today, so it's probably going to slip around a little bit as I shuffle. I cleared the deck. So for those of you that, oh, we've got a sorrow card on the bottom. Let's see if we can bury that if it wants to come out, or if it just wants to be considered at this time. There sure is a lot of sorrow. And a lot of sorrowful things that we could focus on. And if this comes up, we'll definitely go there. People have asked me, what is this deck that you're using? What's it called? And this is, if you don't know which tarot deck this is, it is a very common deck called the Rider-Waite. Oh yeah, I see how slippery they are. They're brand new. This is the first time I've used them, is for this show. I thought, why don't we start something fresh here today? Yeah, so this is the Rider-Waite deck. Most of the modern tarot decks are based on this interpretation that was done in, I think, about 1910. And yeah, it's a great deck. I like that it is so, the colors are so kind of clear, primary colors, easy to interpret. The symbols are very clear and straightforward and easy to interpret. Some decks which I really love working with. It's a little bit more mysterious. Their imagery is more kind of subtle. And so you have to perhaps know a bit more about the cards in order to illustrate or see what's being talked about. Well, this Three of Swords is still on the bottom. We'll see what happens here. Like I said, it might bury itself or it might want to come to the surface this week. One more shuffle. It's still there on the bottom. And I'm picking this one to go on the top. And we're going to start. So we know that this will be the final card. I will actually speak to it at the end. And I'll start with the House of Aries. So for those of you that are new, I lay out what's called a zodiac wheel spread. And the zodiac wheel is based on the houses of the zodiac. I can add an interpretation for each of the zodiac signs, but what I use this wheel spread for, and Janine uses the same spread, is to basically determine different aspects of our lives going forward this week. So there's 12 houses, and each house represents an area of your life. So for all of us in the collective group, this house represents the area of our personality, our personal ego, our will, and it's kind of like what we show up with this week. The Six of Cups is lovely. It is a beautiful card. It's also very nostalgic. So some aspect of us is longing to go back to the good old days. There's a real sense of wanting to almost bury ourselves in, I want to say, the past, but things from the past that were very comforting. This is a childlike card. It also relates to past lives and past life friendships and allies. So feeling very comforted this week by nostalgic things. You may find yourself feeling quite sentimental. It is a great card to indicate that the energy of children is at the forefront this week. So when we're looking at the political arena, we could be seeing a lot more information coming out about the great tragedies of child trafficking. We could be seeing more focus on children's health. I think we already know that a lot of this has been on the top of the topics over these last few months, but it feels like it's going to come up again this week in a big way. There's going to be putting the care and well-being of children at the center of things, because Aries is the first house. It's where it's sort of like the starting point. Okay, now we have the House of Taurus, which is our physical realm. It's our stuff, our material possessions, our money, our security, also food, how we nurture ourselves. This is not a very Taurus-like card, okay? Queen of Swords is a bit cold and detached. And, it almost feels like there's a bit of frugality, because Taurus is also about how we spend our money, how we, what we sort of purchase with our dollars. There could be a real desire this week to, I want to say, streamline a budget, look at a strategic plan for how we're shifting our spending habits going forward. I want to see what's around this. But you remember last week I talked about how certain cards in certain houses are happy to be there. This Queen of Swords probably not too happy to be in the house of Taurus, because Taurus is like I said, material abundance and pleasure and the material realm and our physical bodies and so on. And she's kind of like the no BS queen, right? She's like, um, yeah, probably going to be a bit of focusing on limiting indulgence this week. Let's put it that way. Okay. And in a larger political arena, it could be a lot of negotiation around budget cuts, shifting trends, and I don't want to say economic downturn, but people looking differently at long-term strategy in budgets. And there's definitely a no nonsense kind of energy with this Queen of Swords. So that is interesting. Okay, Gemini. We've got another placement that isn't the most. So this Sword Queen, she would love to be in Gemini. She's not. She's in Taurus. So she's in, the place where we get stuck in ruts. She's there to give us a kind of stern talking to and go, okay, enough of that. Time to get out of that rut. Gemini is where we like to be very communicative and inspired and imaginative. And we've got our focus is on creating a stable base. So these two, almost you could see them being switched around. They'd be super happy to be switched around. To have this in Taurus, oh yeah, we're feeling very stable and secure. And to have this in Gemini, like we're making really good plans and visioning for the future and strategy, but they're not in those houses. They're in this way. So it means that we may feel that we have to be a bit strict with ourselves around, as I said before, something to do with how we look at our spending habits. Yeah, I just have to keep showing it, and also focusing on a long-term strategy, at least for the next 3 or 4 months, kind of like a plan. This could even be looking at going over the Christmas season this year and thinking even about heading into, uh, Black Friday month and just the spending frenzy that happens in the fall. And it could be that you're sort of already putting the brakes on a bit and going, okay, I'm going to be thinking about this in a different way. Just let me know if this is resonating for you. Oh, Hermiller, it's just weighing in on Three Eye Atlas, and Stefan Burns is the geophysicist that has really good videos on Three Eye Atlas, and I was just watching that before, like earlier this morning I was watching that, so thank you for sharing that. Hi Margot, Cape Town, South Africa, lovely to see you. Bamlo is asking, is this the Four of Pentacles? Yes, this is the Four of Pentacles in Gemini. As I said before, not necessarily. Gemini likes to be very imaginative, creative, think outside the box, and strategize and contemplate. And this card is about, we got to secure the base. So using your strategic mind to think about budgets and security, basically. Okay. So we'll feel out of place this week. Well, it's in the right place for a reason, Digibean. It's like, it just doesn't feel as easy, right? It's kind of like forcing a part of yourself that doesn't want to do that to focus on that. So Taurus doesn't want to think about being very frugal and budgeting. And Gemini doesn't want to think about just being focused on creating material stability, but they're sort of having to do that dance this week. Okay, let's see where we go now into Cancer, which is our home, our families. Aha, very nice. Very nice. 3 of Pentacles. And so far, no major arcana. We've had a lot of major arcana in the last few weeks in our overview spread. And if you remember, I said that the major arcana indicate it's going to be a heavier energy. There's going to be more spiritual heavy lifting. So far, these are all minor arcana cards. So it just means a bit more of the mundane reality that we're focusing on. Interesting, this card, 3 of Pentacles in Cancer. Cancer, our home base, our literally our home and our closest family. And this is an entrepreneur card. It is a building something together. Penny and I had this card in our Intuition Fridays the other day. The other day, which was actually yesterday, it feels like days ago now to me. These 3 are working on building something together. And Penny was talking about this is the nun and the friar and then the builder. And these 2 have the plans and they're giving this one the directions on what to do. I also see that we have, in a way, 3 different energies. We have the female energy holding the plans, the male energy, the older male energy listening and observing, and the young male is actually up highest and he's doing the work. So to me, there's something in this where everybody is equal but different, and they're all being exalted. So there's something about working together as a team in your home this week, whoever is your closest family. And if it's just you, if you live alone with your four-legged beloved family member, if you have a small family, a large family, whatever it is, this is your kind of week to feel like you can design and build something that is going to, in a way, bring in a new source of revenue. Now, I don't want to say income, but this is even where you're strategizing about, changing how much you have to pay for your services at home. It's almost like this budgeting energy is moving into like a new plan where you actually save money on how much it costs you to run your home is kind of what I'm getting. So there's innovative new energies coming in, and also a lot of good cooperative teamwork. The 3 of Pentacles Pentacles are a material reality, but it's different than this 4, right? The 4 is right beside it. It's different than this one. This one is where you have to kind of hold on to everything you have and be very kind of focused on stability. This one, the 3, is a lot more flexible and dynamic. So this feels like there's an energy of cooperation that goes on with the 3 of Pentacles. So this can be everything from feeling like you're in team effort at home with your closest family members, everybody's pulling together, you're looking at ways to cut costs, to make things run more efficiently. All of that would be a way to describe this. And another obvious way is that you could be working on some sort of business from home. You could really either develop, build, or advance a home business. It's well aspected this week. These cards are just so slippery. I'm trying to keep them in place. Okay. Next, we have Leo. Oh, wow. Another placement where Leo is not as happy with the 4 of Swords. Leo likes to be, kind of adventurous and extroverted and larger than life and in the limelight. And this is a meditation and retreat card. So this may be a week where you are not feeling as extroverted. You may be feeling more contemplative, and interesting that we've got a 4 in the house of Gemini, and we've got a 4 here as well that has to do with calming the mind. So there really feels like you want to keep your mind focused on things to do with everything to do with the number 4, which is stability, security, kind of, yeah, like literally stabilizing your mind, meditation, and I want to say sort of like fortitude with this card as well. Because Leo is very courageous. It's very, open-hearted. So the courage this week is to literally like calm your mind, meditate, breathe, don't react. We don't have a single wand here yet. Do you see that? No wands and no major arcana. So it could feel a bit like a bit of a timeout week, a pause. Aha. Interesting. Okay, Virgo, the house of Virgo. Virgo has to do with our habits, our daily life, our health, a whole new health regime, a really great time of the year. If you're in the southern hemisphere, this is spring. So that's like a spring cleanse. And if you're in the northern hemisphere, this is fall. And it is like a setting a new, I'm hearing the word like a new circuit or a new plan or program for yourself. So this is a great week to start something, both with your budget and also with your health. Interesting. Very interesting. I was expecting a lot more big drama on the political stage, and I mean, the wheel's not over yet, but so far this feels very much like a breather and focusing on stabilizing mind, body, material resources. And then we've got this sweet little nostalgia card at the beginning. I wonder how that fits in. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is our relationships. Interesting, because look at this. Down in our home and family, we've got working together on something. And in your relationships, partnerships, working together, practicality. This is a week, I mean, we just had we have a huge apple tree in our backyard, king apples, and we just had a group come that are, they go around and pick fruit, and they donate some of it to charity, local charity. And anyway, there was so much. They had to go and get another truck because there was so much. And so I'm looking at this going, oh, I've got all this work to do over the weekend, course development and all kinds of things. And I'm looking out at these bins full of apples and going, and I have a lot of apples to process or, put them up in a way that they'll store well for the next few months. So there is a sense of practicality this week. There is a sense of literally rolling up our sleeves and getting tasks done. And it's, sometimes it's not easy to do that in your family or in your partnership. And sometimes it is easy. This week, it's going to feel easy. Everybody will be in the mood to kind of rally together and get some stuff done. So it is a great week for that kind of thing. Processing food, planting your garden if you're down in the southern hemisphere. It feels very, so far, look at this, not a single major arcana so far. And the lower portion of the wheel is actually kind of like our lower chakras. It's kind of like the base. So we'll see where we go with the upper chakras in the upper portion of this wheel. Scorpio, another minor arcana, another pentacle. So how many is that now? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentacles. Another card related to health and healthy lifestyle. Oh my gosh, I feel like a broken record. Sorry, folks. I guess this is the message for this week. Yeah. So, I want to say, in a way, there's something here about having the self-discipline to really stick to your routines, setting up new routines that have to do with health, diet, lifestyle, and so on. I know it can feel like, oh, ASHALA, come on, we've got so much going on out in the world, and what difference does it make? But, we're going to be able to face what's coming and really grow with what is happening in the best possible way. The more stable we are in our resource base, our physical bodies, our health, mental health, physical, emotional health, and so on. And this does feel like a kind of a practical back to basics sort of week, which obviously we need. Okay. This is a bit similar to last week. So we have in the house of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is about expansion, travel, adventure, exploration. And we've got an expansion, adventure, exploration card. So it's very happy in that house. 2 of Wands, looking at the big picture. Do you see how this character is literally holding the world, contemplating, some of you might be contemplating relocating to a different part of the world. Some of you may be contemplating taking a journey to explore a different part of the world with the possibility of thinking about moving down the road at some point. Either way, there is an energy of, it's not just curiosity, it's like looking for other options to stabilize, almost like a plan B. And this, we saw last week the possibility of planning a large trip. And when I say a large trip, what I mean is something that takes you outside of the country that you're currently living in. Something almost more on a global scale. And people have been worried about travel. And I got last week that we needed to carry on and keep planning our trips anyway. Get your travel insurance, be prepared to pivot, make clear agreements with your higher self that, if you're meant to go, things will be smooth. And if you're not meant to go, it'll be very obvious that you're not meant to go, because, there will be something will stop the trip before it even happens. So it does feel, though, that we are wanting to continue to look further afield and plan larger trips. Even if it's a year or two down the road, it feels important to not just kind of squirrel away. This is a lot of very practical energy here, but it feels important that we also continue to vision some larger trips, or at least a larger trip, and not to drop that. Because, like I've said many times, if we just stop traveling because we're worried about the way the world is and is it safe to travel, my suspicion is that it will likely continue to feel the way it does for quite some time, years perhaps. And so it's important that we don't just give up our freedom to travel. Claim that freedom. And obviously you're going to be you know, keeping your ear to the ground about what's going on and how safe travel is. But as I said before, it seems like if you're meant to travel, it's going to work well for you. Okay. You just pop over to the comments here. Oh yeah, I can't pronounce your name. Bajik. Working from home, working on your home business as we speak. I like this week. I appreciate a nice constructive week. Yeah, right? Wonderful. Just looking here. Health is your wealth. Absolutely. Okay. Sorry, I could get lost in the comments over there. I'm like, oh, right. Focus, ASHALA. So the next one, oh, yes. Our first major arcana could not be in a better place. Capricorn, the house of Capricorn. What do we know about that house? I'm sure many of you are getting familiar with this by now. Capricorn is our kind of like purpose, our self-actualization, our we used to call it the career house. I don't like calling it that. It's just, you know, purpose. I want to call it your purpose house. And look at this. We've got down at the root Cancer, which is home, your team, your close family, and your home base. We've got the entrepreneur home base business. And look at this in Capricorn, which is how you're going to actualize out in the world. We're going to be the strong ones, the ones that are like, I was told this many, many, many years ago by a psychic I went to. God, it must be 30 years ago. And she said, you're going to be one of the people that when everyone is losing it, you're going to be calm because you've already looked at all the stuff. You've already dealt with your fears. You've already, you know, you've already gone through the processes. Your body has gone through the fears, the panics. You know, so many of our community and my clients have all these incredibly strange health phenomena where things flare up and then they disappear. And it's like, what the heck was that? And a lot of times it's our bodies processing all this intense stuff. Like we're taking in all this intense, crazy information. And our bodies have to kind of deal with that, right? They're gonna like kind of go, oh, because it brings up all our fears, our traumas from past lives and our ancestors and so on. And so it's like we've already been in training, many of us, for several years now. So we get hit with the latest wave of whatever, and it's like, whether it be, you know, illnesses or, you know, distorted realities or crises or whatever. And we're kind of like, oh yeah, you know, I'm pretty strong. Like we're strong. We're strong. We've managed the fear because the lion is like our instinctual body, which goes into reaction. It can't help it. We can't blame our bodies for reacting, but we can sure support them with good, healthy practices. You know, I say that the people who are the most awake, aware, conscious, fast evolving have to be the most vigilant with their physical bodies because we literally are processing through so much and our bodies have to try to keep up with all that. So we have to care for them more than your average person. But we get to care for them more. And that means we get bodies that serve us in the long run a lot better as well. So there's something here about really recognizing your strength to work with all the health, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and that we will lead. And the reason we will be seen as leaders is because other people will be like, why aren't you freaking out? Why aren't you losing it? And you're like, oh yeah, I used to do that, but I've learned how to be resilient. I've gotten strong over these last few years. This is a leadership position, this house of Capricorn. So your strength will show. And, it's that old saying, well, they used to say a woman is like a tea bag. You know her strength when she's in hot water. I think we could say that for truthers. We're like tea bags. You know how strong we are when the hot water is applied, and we're like, yeah, we're strong. And this shows, and people will see this. People will gravitate towards your strength. And if you don't feel very strong, think about how you would handle the last, say, 6 or 8 weeks of what's gone on in the news 6 or 8 years ago. Think about it. What would you have done then? How would you have handled the sheer amount, the volume of potent, heavy stuff? Right? We are strong. We are very, very strong. And all of this training, it's been like an intensive training we've been in. And we want to keep this momentum, right? Because we've got this 8 of Pentacles here. We want to keep ourselves, I call it staying in gear. And because I'm so sensitive and I process so much and have been doing that for decades, truth or information, psychic information, interdimensional information, ancestral information, I've had to be so vigilant with my physical and emotional, mental, and spiritual health, right? I've had to be very, very health conscious so that I can handle all of that. My whole being can, but I've also gotten incredibly strong from that. So you are all in this, I want to say, kind of boot camp. We've all been in this boot camp. Aw, ALM. This reading resonates, feeling tingly. Thank you. Boot camp Earth. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you. 7th pillar. The body is the pickup truck for the soul. Yep. And we have more ascension to come. I truly believe it. But look at how far we've come. Look at how far we've come. This would not be showing up for all of us together. And you could say, oh, ASHALA, maybe that's you and everybody else, but I don't feel very strong. And I challenge you to consider, go back, because it's also a week where we look back in the past. You go back for the last 6 years. Take stock this week, folks. Go back and look at a picture of yourself from 6 years ago. Think about it. Look at yourself. And think about what you've been through, what you've absorbed in terms of awareness. I'm just like, now I'm getting tingly. I'm like, feel fierce. I feel fierce. Like we got to roar like lions and be like, yeah, we're strong. We're strong and we're going to stay strong because we're building on that strength now. And it's starting. Where does it start? At home. Grassroots, from the ground up. It starts small. You don't have to be a big YouTube influencer. You don't have to change the world. Start in your own home. Yep. Start with your own health. And cut yourself some slack. Notice how far you've come. All right. So, Aquarius. Aquarius likes swords because Aquarius is an air sign, and the swords, there's 4 suits in the tarot. Swords, Wands, Cups, and Pentacles. The swords represent the air signs of the astrology, the element of air, and that relates to our thoughts, our communication, and so on. So air signs like to have swords show up. This is an air sign, Aquarius, and this is Seven of Swords. Mastering something, strategic mastery. Now, we used to call this, in the old days, reading tarot, I used to call this the control card. Do you ever get that where your mind wants to control everything out there? Like, okay, I've got to, make this person understand that, and I've got to make sure that this doesn't happen, and I've got to, make sure that I've got enough money in the bank and so on. But we do a lot of this outward control, and then we don't focus as much on stabilizing inwardly. So, of course, we're going to want to influence our external reality and try to manage it and direct it in a way that we see as the best for everyone. But we have to do that from a place where we've managed the internal reality first. It's almost like whatever happens, we are going to stay to some degree stable. They're showing me almost like, a buoy in the ocean, how they kind of bob around, but then when the waves settle, they come back to stability. That's what I'm feeling. And this is in Aquarius, which is our friends and our networks. There is a feeling this week of looking across. They're showing me an image of literally we are all like these kind of buoys, not boys, but buoys out in the ocean, and the waves go, but we look around and we're like, oh, you didn't go under? No, I didn't go under either. And there's so many of us, and we're riding these waves. So there's something about starting to get a little bit of momentum or incentive or encouragement from seeing how we're all handling this. Look around, look at the comments, see how well people are recovering. It's almost cute in a way. If you think about all of us, when these waves come, we're all bobbing around and going, ah, but then we stabilize. And then we look around and go, wow, we're still all here. We're still all here. Huh. Interesting. One major arcana so far. Drum roll. Let's see what the last card is. Oh. Oh, not just any major arcana. The Death card. I usually call it the transition card because people get really upset when you say the Death card. They go, oh my gosh, somebody's dying, someone's going to die. And of course, we're all going to die. The Death card is really about us recognizing the cycles that are eternal. They're eternal cycles of endings and new beginnings, endings and new beginnings. Feeling more comfortable with the ending and the new beginning. Look at this, because we have in Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, it's the ending, and we have the ending card. So only 2 major arcana out of 12. So not a huge amount of spiritual weightlifting this week, but really recognizing how strong you've become and seeing that you are already, so you could also call this death and rebirth. Where are you in the process? Are you still in the death? Are you in the rebirth? Are you birthing as the old is dying? One thing we know about the death card is you can't stop it. Once it starts, once the process of transition begins, there's no stopping it. We are going through this transformation collectively. There is no stopping it. It's like a birth. And interesting, it brings us back to our childhood. So almost a little bit of a rebirthing energy this week. Breath work would be great. Meditation would be great. If you are at all interested in the topic of rebirthing, this could be a week where you give that some airtime. Think of it as it's a metaphor. Your own birth is kind of a metaphor for how you're going to handle this transition globally as we go through the death of the old system and the rebirth of the new. And I love that in Virgo, we have the new it's already planted itself. It's already growing. It's like seeds are sprouting. Things are already beginning. We're going to see so much growth in the next, 8 to 10 years. We're going to see so much new growth. But I believe we're going to see this death of the old is going to go on for a very long time. I don't want to tell you how long I actually see it going on for, because some of you will get really mad at me, and I don't want you to get mad at me. So I'll just hint. I'll hint. And I could be wrong, right? But this is what I'm seeing and what I'm really intuiting from all the years that I've been on this path. And a small amount of the old will still be with us for more than decades. Let's start by saying that. Is that okay? Are you okay with that? Is it scary? Is it frightening to think that a small amount of the old will still be around a long time from now? Maybe when your grandchildren are your age. Is that okay? What's scary about it is that we think, oh no, because that old system will it's sort of like one bad apple will taint everything. But it just feels like it's a process. It's a long-term cycle, right? It's a 10, 12,000 year cycle. We're beyond the turning point. We're at the rebirth part of it now. But there's still so much to fall away. And just like a birth, if you try to rush it, it's dangerous. It's dangerous for mom and it's dangerous for baby. This is going to be a natural birth. And so it's going to come in waves. We're going to need to be strong, which we are. And we're going to need to be okay with it taking as long as it needs to take. So I'm not saying you're not living in the new earth and the new paradigm. You're absolutely living there, but there may still be people on this planet that are living in the old for a very long time. And that's okay. They won't stop us from evolving. If anything, they will be part of the energy that continues to propel us. Okay, rant over. Last card. I'm sorry, they're all kind of wibble wobbly. They're like the boys on the ocean because they're so slippery because they're just new. And drum roll, another major, Hermit. And I said I would talk about this at the end, right? It's interesting. We have the child at the beginning and the elder at the end. The child, Six of Cups is like the inner child. And then we have the elder. So this is also, look at this. We've got the death, the end, and the Ace of Pentacles is literally like the rebirth or the new beginning. So there's a lot of this feeling of both happening at the same time. Our child and our elder taking turns. Sometimes we need our elder to lead, and sometimes we need our inner child to lead. And I'm going to put them in the middle together there. And then we'll end off talking about this, which is the collective heartache, the pain, the sorrow. All of this, when you look at this card, people go, oh no, I'm going to get stabbed in the heart. It's always already in the past. The Three of Swords represents old wounds. This is past heartache. So on a personal level, it's when you already have been hurt. For us as a collective, this is the old heartache that we are seeing the echoes of it now. And this is also reminding me what we're living now is actually the echoes of the past. So don't despair if it's not changing fast enough. You're already well and truly in the new. Look at that, the Strength card. Yeah. And there's an aspect of faith with this too. You know, when I see the Hermit and the Strength card and the Six of Cups, it's like it's those old parables from the Bible about, you know, going through the dark night of the soul and feeling your faith is what you have to guide you, which is actually the greatest gift of all. Your faith is your greatest gift. Your belief in a higher power, that this is all happening for a reason, that there's divine love at the source of all of this. That's your greatest strength right there. And it has the ability to, you know, it's sort of like there's an extraction that happens with when these swords come up. What we're doing right now with all that's going on out in the media and the world is we're literally doing open heart surgery and extracting all the old hurts. A lot of what's happening is a repeat. It's like watching reruns on television. It's like, oh yeah, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. It's getting these old stories extracted, doing the healing together now. Wow. Yeah. User 2491. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Let's see. If you can't tell something bad is coming, why is every reading new hope and rebirth? Everything dies. Yeah. I agree. It's not about not telling that something bad is coming. I think something bad has already came. Something bad is always here. I'm actually saying something bad is going to be here with us, probably eternally. It's not about nothing bad is here. What it is about, like, we are not beholden to be annihilated by that bad thing. We are in perspective to that. There's a heck of a lot more of this than that. And it's necessary. It's part, as you said, it's a necessary part of the full spectrum of life. Oh, Hermiller, thank you. If it's a great reading, what do I always say to my clients? If it's a great reading, then you are drawing that through me, because I'm a conduit for all of the guidance. And how I receive the messages is through this portal or bandwidth of the heart, which is power neutral and aligned with the greater good of all beings. So that bandwidth is the insurance that we're going to get information that isn't about, somebody said, no psychic ever wins the lottery, right? True, because it isn't about having advantage. It's about having, like, restoring a sense of peace and faith in our hearts. It's about coming back into what matters. Being, I used to call it spiritual hygiene. The tarot gives us feedback that is a type of spiritual hygiene that helps us come back into alignment with what is resonant. Yeah. Ah, faith, faith in yourself. Mm, yeah. 2 cycles. Thank you, Linda. That's a great point. 2 cycles within the cards, and you were talking about a new health cycle for us because fall is beginning, or if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, which some of you are, or some of you are watching afterwards, yeah, spring is beginning in the South. Either way, it's the spring and fall, around the equinoxes is the best time to reset our body, mind, and spirit. And it does take some wrangling, just like this. You got to have some self-discipline, a bit of a plan, and you got to wrangle your your instincts, which are like, no, I want that second piece of pie or whatever it is, right? um you do sort of have to wrestle with yourself in the beginning to get into that, um I want to say, habit. Yeah. Mm. Oh, Lupo, thank you. I love Saturday evenings. I love that you're here and so many of you showing up on. I literally was thinking before I came on today, I was like, wow, this has become my favorite hour of the week. It really is. I just come here and I'm like, I never know what's going to happen. I do know that it's a great honor to be here with all of you. And it's such a pleasure and a delight. And it's getting better. I feel more and more, um, yeah, like energized and feel the potency of what we share together here. So thank you. Thank you for being here with me, on a regular basis and making this possible. All right. So if you want to be here with me personally, one-on-one, this is where you can find me. You can use the coupon code below to get an additional 10% off, a 1-hour session with me. I'm taking bookings the week after, not this coming one, but the week after. I believe I have some space. So check that out if you want to book a session with me. And we have one more fall offering to share, and that is this fall 4 soaps bundle. That is from Floraline Farm. Purchase the full bundle to receive a free mystery soap. So this is Patchouli Harvest, Cozy Flannel, Orange, Pumpkin, and Maple. I mean, they look so edible. Moonlit Chai Latte. The names alone are just incredible. And if you get the bundle, you're going to receive an additional soap, which I think would just make such a lovely gift. So check that out, everybody. I love it. Have any of you used these soaps? Let me know. Let me know how you like them. And, there's something about resonating with those energies of the season. And a lot of it is through the sense of smell. Like, have you ever noticed there's the smells of Christmas and the smells of Thanksgiving or fall, the smells of spring? So, for that reason, I think that aromatherapy scents and beautiful scented soaps and beautiful high quality products like this are so valuable. They actually help our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health to come into alignment. And that's a big aspect of what's happening this week. So it's been lovely as always to share with all of you. And Tracy Ann is saying, I love the charcoal detox one. Oh, thank you for sharing that, Tracy. And Dottie, a beautiful hour this has been. Thank you and have a great week. To you and everyone here. Yes. Have a beautiful week, everybody. Blessings to all of you. Keep the faith. Notice how strong you are.